Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, hump day, the 14th of May, 2025. Well, the roofers canceled on me last night. I texted him and he said, oh, we're not gonna come till next week because of the rain. It didn't rain all day today. It could have gotten done. I was kind of upset, to say the least. It's 70 degrees out. At first it did say on the weather it was going to rain at 3, and then they changed it. It wasn't going to rain until 9. So I went ahead and mowed. I set my mower down. Oh, geez, I just sat down to get rest. I set my mower down to 2. It was on 3. I set it down to 2. And so it cut a little lower, so hopefully we don't have a heat wave and it'll burn more than it did last year in that drought. But it was growing so fast. I had to mow every week because of all the rain we've had. So yeah, I set it down. Guy next door neighbor said it looked good. But look at my clematis, guys. Look at my clematis. It's got blooms on it. It's bloomed a couple times. And there's poison ivy in there, which I'm highly addicted to. I have to have shots if I get it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to put the coveralls on Jet gave me, so my arms are covered and my legs are covered, and Velcro them in and get my new gardening gloves out I got at Aldi's and tackle that crap. Because it'll grow up through the porch. It has. And I try to get rid of it, use vinegar and water, but it just keeps coming back. But I'm doing this with my camera because if I do it on YouTube, I'll lose internet connection. And here's my small lilac bush, and I didn't want to lose it before I showed you everything. I trimmed it, and I trimmed this one too, but I couldn't go up very high because that one's so tall. But look at this. It's the white variety, so it looks a little purplish, so it doesn't smell as much, but it still smells. And you can definitely smell it from inside the house when the windows are open. It's going to be trimmed. They say to trim lilacs after the end of spring when their blooms are all done blooming. So maybe next year. Maybe next year the purple won't bloom because it smells so good. Well, I got some starts on it. Here. Is this zoomed in? Yes, jeez. I got some starts on it, so maybe Jessica can get a start. She's trying to get one to plant. But isn't that beautiful? So yeah, I'll have to get the ladder out here and trim that up farther before it gets up into the wire. I'm gonna pull the leaves off of these trees we cut down. Getting all kinds of blooms. I came back from visiting Jessica Mother's Day weekend. Had all kinds of blooms. So this has daffodils in early spring, and it's gonna have roses, but I need to weed or the roses are gonna get overtaken. I don't know what color these are, guys. This will be the first year. I think they're purple. The first year for them blooming. And there's the other rose bush. I repotted them from the other side of the shed. These ones right here. Put them in the flower garden because the other side of the shed they would have gotten mowed. Let's see if they take care of these ditches like they used to. I just got to go to council. I keep saying that. I need to go up there to council, find out when the meetings are, and just keep going until they get tired of hearing my voice and seeing my face. And that's the only way you'll get them to do anything. But yeah, they need to dig out those ditches so they... See, that stupid ivy. So, the water from the hills will run in the ditches like it used to. And I just weeded this last week. Look at it. Just look at it. But look, aren't these beautiful? These are miniatures. Miniature irises. Aren't they pretty? They're so pretty. Even though they're tiny. The yellow irises. The azalea's gone. It doesn't last very long. Aren't they pretty? Kitty cats are inside. They were out earlier till I started. I didn't start till like 1, I'm thinking. I don't know what time it is now. Probably. Oh yeah, it's after 3 because I saw the school kids. Pretty soon they'll be out running and playing every day because school's going to be out on the 24th. No, 23rd. I take it back. Yeah. No, yeah, 23rd. Because Riley's graduation from 5th grade, and she'll be up in the building where Landon is, and he'll be a senior. He'll have 1 more year to go. Geez, him and Leonidas. Yeah, they have. Yeah, she was a 5th. They have 6th, 7th, and 8th inside the high school building, but it's blocked off, so they're not with the high schoolers. At Union Local here in Barnesville, we have a K through 5, and then we have a 6, 7, 8 middle school out below the high school. It's a whole separate building. And then, of course, high school, 9, 10, 11, 12. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior is in a separate building. We have 3 schools here. So UL, they just have 2. Anyway, her graduation is on my birthday, the 22nd, which is Thursday next week, and then the 23rd is their last day, Friday. I think it's a half day. But next year, she's not going to the babysitters anymore because she's, once they get a certain age, Benita doesn't take them anymore. So she wanted her to go another year. But Riley said no, she didn't want to. She said she could go another year, put it that way. But Riley said she didn't want to because she'd be helping with the other kids. Anyway, she'll be riding to school with her big brother. See, also, they're not trimming. They used to trim, too, as well as keep the ditches dug out. They're not doing that either. Look at that sky, isn't it beautiful? It's gorgeous. Yeah, we can walk the property now because I'm not on the internet. Oh my gosh, you guys, up at that festival, I was so bummed, angry, frustrated because the internet was out. I didn't even know it. I'm still seeing what I'm filming, right? I don't know where you look to see if it's out. Anyways, I did the best interview with this lady. She had these little miniature crafts, so cute. She is a retired school teacher, and she taught special education students. And she said she had to find something after she retired to keep her busy, so she did that. The miniature things. But I interviewed her. It was so good. She didn't mind being on camera. And she showed me the things she made. Well, I was filming her booth to begin with. And then she said she didn't mind being on camera. And, well, before that, I'll back up. So that was a really good interview. Lasted like, 10 minutes. But before that, I was going up, left the booth. It was only a 4-hour show. It wasn't very busy, so I could get up and move around. I was heading past the bar that we were sat in front of, the West 50. That was a cool bar, a little microbrewery. And a guy came out with a Dora cup. And the Dora is where, I don't know if you watched it on my channel, the Dora is where you can drink in designated areas. We have it here in our county seat in St. Clairsville, but we don't have it here in our town. And so the guy was telling me all about it. He didn't mind being on camera either. And it was so cool. And then, my third break of the 4-hour day, I was walking the opposite direction down to the next bar, and I had my door cut because Jessica went in. She got me a microbrewed beer. It's a lager. I thought it was IPA. She said it was a lager, but anyways, it was strong like an IPA, and I thought that's the only thing they had in there was a IPA with their microbrewery. Anywho, they said, "What does your mom like to drink?" And she said, "Bud Light." So he gave her a beer that tasted similar to Bud Light, and it did. Actually, I thought it was a Bud Light draft, and she said, "No, they only have the microbrewery beer in there." So he gave me the closest thing to it. It was so good. Normally, I don't drink that fast, and she got a wine, Cab Sav. So I was walking the opposite direction down to the other bar, and this guy was sitting out in front of the bar, and he was drinking on the little chair there, table, and he started talking to me. He didn't care that he was on camera. And we were in Chillicothe, Ohio, so people in Chillicothe are pretty friendly. And he was telling me how he was a retired Marine. He's traveled all over the world. And he said, that truck right up the street with the Indian motorcycle, that's mine. And I was like, oh, wow, it's right in front of my daughter's booth. I said, yeah, it's gorgeous. I was admiring it. And we talked probably for about 15 minutes. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm looking down at my phone, thinking the whole time that that's on there. Well, apparently the internet for that freaking bar only reaches in front of that bar. But on my community page, you see a lot of pictures of the bar. It was a really cool little microbrewery bar there in Chillicothe. But yeah, he was just talking away, and I was just talking to him. And I started out just talking to him first. I said, what would happen if I walked past this line, past the imaginary line for this Dora? I said, will I disappear or what? What will happen? He said, oh, I don't know. And then he said the same thing the guy before that I saw coming out of the bar with a cup. He said, they have had it for 4 years now. They haven't had a bit of trouble. And I said, probably good for commerce. He said, oh, yes. And he said, you should try and talk to your community representatives and see if, they would do it. And I said, I doubt that. But I guess I can write up a little thing and read that off when I get up there. I'm going. It just takes me a while to do shit because I forget. And I'm busy, so. Anyway, I'll get up there to council. I'm also going to talk about those freaking houses right there that need to come down. So, we'll see. What is tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah, so the roofer said next week. I should have just spoke my mind. I should have said, well, I'm kind of disappointed. Especially since it didn't, well, like I said, it was supposed to rain at 3. I take a Benadryl before I mow, and I still get all choked up, but not as bad as if I didn't take one. But yeah, I don't know about this lowering of the wheels. I think next week I'll have to put them back up to 3. Yep. I guess I'm just used to seeing it like not so low. It's got a high and tight army cut. Yeah, see, it's on 2. I should probably put it on 3. It's got 4. I didn't know it had 4. It needs cleaned. Yeah, so I want to get that roof done. Because when I get the roof done, as soon as it's done, I notify Ryan, my insurance agent, and he sends the rest of the payment. So he gave me $8,000. I'm going to be getting almost $2,000 in a separate check when it's done. They want to make sure it gets done, I guess. And I'm going to get a roll-off with that money. So, and once I get that junk out of here, Leonidas and Landon said they would help me. I asked him when we were over there for the cookout, week before last. Oh my gosh, Mother's Day. Andy made steak. They had steak and shrimp, surf and turf. They had corn on the cob. They had yellow squash in the packets. He makes the shrimp in the packets, and Jessica made up the squash in the packets. And I bought corn, and I brought the steaks from out of my freezer that Jed had given me. And then I went over there when I got home. Went over there around 6 Sunday evening, and Jed had made steak. And Kim makes these really good little red boiled potatoes. She leaves the jackets on and she flavors them. Oh my gosh, was it so good. What is that up there? Is that a deer? What the heck is that? Oh no, that's a cat. Oh, it's too funny. I just saw the white on it, and it was like above that limb, so I thought it was like a deer tail. But I saw 3 the other morning when I was out here. Anyway, she made the jacketed little red potatoes, broccoli with melted cheese, and Jed made the steak. And then she made rolls. Oh my gosh, was that good. And fancy rolls. She used to be a chef for the Wheeling Civic Center on the island, and she catered. They cooked there at Wheeling, and they didn't, because they didn't have a kitchen at the Capitol Music Hall, so they had to transport the food from the Civic Center to the music hall when they did a show. And she was telling me who was nice, who was mean. She said Larry the Cable Guy was mean, but Ron White was super sweet. That's the only 2 I can remember. But yeah, she's a good cook. And then Angie's a good cook. She makes those choice baked potatoes. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to make those, but they're so good. And Jessica's a good cook. And Jessica gardens and cans and makes stock. I don't know if you guys know Mouse Toes. Check out her channel because she makes stock, and she's a really good cook. She shows you how to do a lot of different recipes and make stock and all that good stuff. Her channel's Mouse Toes, Mousetoes, Mouse Toes. So yeah, I had such a good Mother's Day. It was bittersweet. I woke up and I shouldn't have got on Facebook. I'm just used to doing that. I'll wake up and I'll stretch and do some exercise while I'm laying down before I set up and get your blood pumping. I drink some water. I always take water up to bed with me. I was at Jessica's, so I was doing all that. And the girls weren't awake yet, so I didn't want to wake them up either. So I get on Facebook, which, like I said, that's what I do at home. Big mistake. Because that was the day of the funeral. Anyways, came downstairs and saw Jessica. I'd been crying, saw her, started bawling again. She started bawling. She was having a bad day too. They were super tight, those 2. They were Irish twins. Well, we hugged it out and we got past that and had a really good day. I did a lot of things up there, man. I went to Chillicothe Trade Days. I don't think I filmed either. Nope. I filmed at the garden center a little. Well, not filmed, put pictures on my community page. But yeah, I just enjoyed the time with my family. Filmed at a dispensary. Andy took me to the dispensary. So I bought them some glitter bomb, and they loved it. And the guy there said it sells out. I didn't start my camera until after he was telling us all about the different strands and stuff and their operation. And that's when he said, "What were you thinking about?" I said, "Glitter bomb." He said, "Oh, that glitter bomb, we can't keep it in here." And somebody said, I forget who said it. They probably say that about all of them. I don't know, but I just heard it was good. So, and they loved it. And then I got a little pre-roll for myself. I haven't tried it yet. Either it'll make my anxiety go through the roof, or it'll calm me, because I'm wired backwards. My doctor said I was even. And I said, yeah, I told other doctors that, and they didn't seem to know what I was talking about. She said, oh yeah, a lot of people are like that. You're wired backwards. You can tell I'm talking about, man. I take a Benadryl and it amps me up. It puts other people to sleep. But it does help my allergies. I have seasonal allergies from grass cuttings. Like if I'm riding around and somebody has the windows down. Like the other day, Landon came over and put my ACs in, so I said, let's go have lunch at McDonald's. And I don't think his AC is working. He had his windows down. No, maybe it was, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I might be wrong. Maybe it was, I know it was cooler, so he's probably just had them down because it was cool. Because over there, you know, where Jed Mechanic is, they stay on top of that stuff because they know how. Anyways, the guy up the street was mowing. Oh my gosh, I just had a choking fit. I started watering. So see up front here, where it gets all the shade and the water, it was even higher, and it looks good with the setting it has now. I think that looks really good. But down here, well, around that tree, of course, it's all shade. The water runs down there, but I don't know. Maybe I should have raised it back up for that part and the back part. Oh well, what's done is done. Like I said, I won't have to mow it as soon. I hope. I should ask Guy if I can get a start off his peony. Some people call it peony, some people call it peony. I call it peony. They smell so good. And I had one where I used to live on East Church Street, and I'd cut them and just leave them on the porch. I was telling Jessica because she just got one. She paid $30 for it, so hopefully it grows. They told her how to plant it. Said leave it in a pot, leave it in the container, and bury it so far, and then you have to take it up and put it back. Take it out of the pot and then put it back. Some shit. Anyway, you pick them if you want to take them inside and put them in a vase. And leave them on your porch, and the ants will crawl off because they do attract the ants. They'll crawl away, and then you bring them in the house, and they just smell so good. Same thing with the lilacs. And I don't know about my poor Rosa Sharon. Looks like something got it. Some fungus. There's a fungus among us. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday. And yeah, I fell asleep last night. I do that quite often when I'm wore out. I'll fall asleep. No, I said goodbye last night. Yeah, sometimes I'll fall asleep without telling everyone goodbye, whatever chat I'm in. But yeah, I said goodbye last night because I was drifting off. Yeah, I'll be tired tonight from this mowing. But I'm glad you do get out and work and you sleep better, especially outside. And the outdoor work. Next week. You can come Thursday, dude. You can come Friday. I should have said I'm going to be out of town all next week, but I don't want to lie. Say I'm going to be out of town and then go to Bark Camp every day, or State Park, which is like 20 minutes down the road, and walk every day, hike every day. So I should do that anyway. And I wouldn't be lying. I'm technically out of town. Oh, geez. Things I think of. My brain. Yeah, did I tell you I got to knock the limb off of this thing? I kept running into it. About took me out, hit me in the head. Should have wore a hard hat. It wasn't very big. It was like that second limb right there. Yeah, the only thing that's holding that tree together is the grapevine. So yeah, have a wonderful, as I was saying, Wednesday. Get out if you can and enjoy the day. And I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.